joining me in the studio is Douglas Herbert, our international affairs commentator. Doug, why are things so fraught between the EU and one of its newest members?
Basically because you have two members ostensibly of the same club, notably the European Union, which have radically divergent views on what it means to be a member of that union. From the European Union's perspective, when Poland signed up to become a member of the EU, joining in 2004, after many years of negotiation, it knew what it was signing up for. It was signing for a value of shared common values based on certain freedom, certain independence, but also values based on a respect for collective European values and notably collective European rule of law, the European Constitution. What we're seeing here is Poland going rogue in the view of its critics. And this isn't something that just started earlier this month. We've been talking and making a lot of, and rightfully so, of the decision by Poland's constitutional court, essentially, to rule that its laws have primacy over those of Europe. That is, the Polish Constitution takes precedence over EU constitutions and EU treaties. That's really the immediate trigger for this showdown today, and why we see the Polish Prime Minister on his request addressing the European Parliament from Strasbourg. But it goes back years before that. It goes back to a real clash over the judicial reforms in the country and what has been seen as a populist right-wing shift of all of Poland, a shift away from those shared values. The court, I will note, that made this ruling back in earlier this month, the Constitutional Tribunal in Poland, itself is a tribunal that is made in the image of the populist Law and Justice Party. It is not a court that its critics would say was even based on, it's a new creation relatively, that it itself is not based on rule of law. So it's hardly surprising that its judges, in the view of the critics once again, would come up with a decision such as this, ruling our court takes precedence over the EU court.
So what is the Polish Prime Minister's message to Brussels, and how has it been received?
Well, what is the message? He's gone populist. Basically, what do you do when you are a populist pushed into the corner by a club that is trying to hold you to account to a treaty that you signed up to? Look, overtones or undertones of Brexit here. Obviously, I almost could have said the same thing on any number of occasions, and you could have been talking about Boris Johnson and the Brexiteers versus Europe. Obviously, there are differences here. It's not the exact same situation. But what you have, he's basically calling this blackmail. And why is he calling it blackmail? He's basically saying that the Europeans are expecting us to adhere to their constitution, overriding the sovereignty, as he sees it, of Poland's laws and constitution, and threatening to withhold funds, notably 36 billion euros in recovery funds that some countries in the club, not all of them yet, have called for to be withheld because Poland is seen by them as a rogue member. Rogue members should not be privy to the money from the collective purse. So that's one of the things. And he's basically also saying that he very much adamantly remains in spirit a member of this club, that it's the European Union that is not open to dialogue and that the European Union are being the obstreperous ones, to use a big word.
Now, we're hearing the word a lot, Polexit, but what are the chances of that actually happening?
Almost nil, Annette. I know, yeah, it's true. When you say that, it's coming up a lot, and we see it. It's one of those words. It rolls off the tongue. It makes for an easy media narrative, the populists versus the Europeans. The fact of the matter is a pretty high majority of the Polish population, the recent polls suggest, are very much Remainers. They want to remain in the EU. And the irony is Jarosław Kaczyński himself, not the prime minister, but the most powerful man essentially in Poland because he's the head of the Law and Justice Party. He recently, in the past week, gave an interview in which he said, I want to remain in Europe. I don't want to leave Europe at all. So here's the irony. Poland is going to remain in Europe. We're not going to see Polexit, 99.9%. However, it is going to remain a difficult member of the Union, and it's going to be going forward. How do you do business with a difficult member of the Union that is not going to see eye to eye to you on a lot of big issues?
Douglas Herbert, thank you.